It's gonna seem a little bit ridiculous, but today I'm gonna be showing you how I've always utilized this one principle to flip collectibles. Now, this could be physical collectibles, like literally this comic over here has done about 8,000 in profit so far. Flipping this one comic here, close to about $600. It could be physical, it could be digital. In fact, I'm gonna be showing you how I've been flipping NFTs, digital collectibles, to slightly over $50,000 in terms of the entire portfolio. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can do it even if you're starting out totally broke, no capital, and you might not have an idea to how you should be flipping stuff. Whether it's physical or digital, when you understand this one concept, it's going to change everything. Whether you want to flip comics, collectibles, cards, NFTs, crypto, when you understand this. So to explain to you how this works, let me start off by sharing my screen and walk you through this first principle. Okay, and the first principle is basically this. When you understand this, you're gonna look at everything very differently. You see, over here, this was in 2017. And in 2017, this Iron Man comic sold for $375,000 for one that was graded at 9.6. Now you could be thinking, so what, right? Well, here's the thing. Before Iron Man became Iron Man, as the world knew Iron Man was around for a really long time. In fact, this Iron Man was from the 70s, right? It was from the 70s, and when Iron Man... Wait, give me a second. Let me just double check, fact check that. So this is the first ever appearance of Iron Man comic, and this was Tales of Suspense number 39, and this was released in the late 50s. And in 2017, the 9.6 version of this comic was sold for $375,000. Now you could be thinking, so what does this have to do with flipping an NFT and making money online? Well, everything. You see, before Iron Man became Iron Man, as the world knows Iron Man today, Iron Man's first appearance before the movie was ever released was going for less than $30,000. Now, why is it that in a span of slightly over a decade, this $30,000 comic became over 10x in returns? Because Iron Man, even though the story was released in the late 50s, 1959, it was because that's when people started caring, when they started watching the movies. Now, if you understand this very similar concept here today, this will literally foolproof every single investment you make in any collectible, whether it's a comic, whether it's a trading card, whether it's an NFT, when you understand this one word, and that one word is called eventuality. You see, today, Iron Man, you could have a really pretty crap version at a 5.5, and it still sells for $29,000. And by the way, this number goes up exponentially because the number of supply, goes down. You'll see, they're literally right now, it's so rare that on eBay right now, there isn't anything better than a 5.5. And that's why if you've got a 7.0, 8.0, 9.0, you will fetch exponentially more. Okay, so what does this mean when you understand eventuality? See, when you understand eventuality, and if you take a look at the direction of where a specific market is headed, that means rather than reacting, you can be anticipating instead. So think about Marvel's upcoming direction. Okay, if you understand the movies that they're about to come up with this year, next year, you'll know, and if you do research, you don't even need to look that hard. You know exactly what type of superheroes will be coming out. You know exactly what type of supervillains will be the next supervillain. And because of that, what if you could be there waiting while the market approaches this eventuality? Okay, so what does this mean? Well, let's take a look at Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is a movie that Marvel is coming up, probably to attack the Asia market with this first Chinese superhero. So probably they want to be able to capture the China market. Now, in most cases, unless it totally tanks, like maybe Mulan did, where there's a backlash and people say, you know, this is not a representation of what... In most cases, Marvel has got a pretty solid track record, right? One of the things, if you've been watching my previous videos, is I said Shang-Chi, the first spike, when the price goes up, when is it going to be? It's always when the release of the trailer of the trailer goes out, right? So the trailer was released about 2 months ago, and sure enough, right, today there's only one Shang-Chi at 9.8 that's for sale, and it's going for $21,000. In fact, if you take a look at this, the last transacted amount at 9.8 was for $13,000. And if you watched my previous video that I shot last year, that's what I said. I said, you know, guys, I'm going to be buying Shang-Chi. You can see my order date over here. And some of you guys said in the comments, $7,000 for a comic is ridiculous. In fact, it's borderline stupid. But again, over here, right, it's in the collectibles market. A lot of people, guess what? The world, they don't know who Shang-Chi is just yet. Now, this is not about Shang-Chi. This could be all of every single Marvel movies that is coming out. Why? Because the world doesn't know these superheroes just yet. Unless a person's into that world, the typical nerd geek, they might know of, you know, these comics, but most people don't know of these things, okay? So once you understand this, I'm going to show you how this translates into NFTs as well. But when you understand this thing, so that's how I've been buying stuff, right? If you take a look at my previous videos that I've been doing with you when it comes to flipping, you'll know that. What else did I talk about? I talk about, for example, Eternals, right? Eternals is also another movie that's coming out. You will see here last year when I bought Eternals, in just a few months, right? This was about £1,600. Okay, so maybe it's about $1,008. And you can see here it's gone up a couple of $100. And this doesn't need to be a Marvel movie. This could be series on Disney Plus. Okay, so if I were to exit this for a second, okay, if you take a look at all of the different collectibles that I've been buying, that I've been telling you about, so like all these different collectibles, what have I been doing? What have I been flipping? I have been buying up things that before the world and the public watches it, I buy in advance because, again, it's an eventuality. So, for example, when Disney Plus released and completed Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I know that the first appearance of Winter Soldier would drastically increase. Same thing for Super Patriot. Now, this could be WandaVision, but what does that tell you? It just tells you, take a look at all of the Hollywood blockbusters that they're coming up with. Take a look at all of the different series that they're coming up with. And when you start buying up the first appearance of these superheroes, it's an eventuality, okay? And that is why from 7,000, it went up to about 14,000. And that's why the only person that has got a 9.8 right now is asking for 21,000, and that's why the last transacted is nearly double of what it is that I paid for in just a few months. So how can you, if you understand this mentality and this mindset that can be utilized across any collectible market, that's when you'll know you'll be able to flip profitably. Okay, so let me just show you a few different principles that I'm always utilizing. So number one, just think about, is this an eventuality where the market is headed? Because you don't want to be reacting to the market. You want to be placed there beforehand, before the public catches on. And if you want to be able to flip and get a decent profit, this is crucial. Number two would be the supply. So what does this mean? You see, there's a reason why I go for 9.8s. 9.8 is usually at the highest grade, but it also it means that you'll pay a premium, but you also fetch a premium. Now, you don't have to begin at that level because it would require a lot more capital. You could start smaller, but what is important is you want to think about what is the supply of that specific collectible, and can you be somebody that can corner that supply? Okay, so to explain to you what that means, let me just go ahead and share my screen again. So for example, like this Shang-Chi over here, right? Why is it that in a way I can control the market? It is because if you were to take a look, there are a lot of different platforms that shows you the supply in circulation, right? So for example, this is Shang-Chi, first appearance. And you can see that at 9.8, so there's no 9.9 and 10.0s in the market, but certified at 9.8, with a signature. So you notice that my comic is yellow bordered because it's signed and it's authenticated by the company. You'll see that there's only 6 of them in the world. So the next thing that I'm thinking about always is my purchase, like how many are there in the entire market. So for example, if I'm collecting, like let's say Michael Jordan rookie cards, okay, I know that I will probably never corner the Michael Jordan rookie card. Why? Because chances are, to do that, to control that market, it would require millions of dollars, right? To be able to hold enough supply to control the market. So rather than doing that, I would rather take something that's more niche down. Maybe it would be Serena Williams, you know, at a pristine condition, a perfect condition, and to be able to corner that market instead. So number 2 is supply. Now, right now you could be thinking, well, I don't know how that translates to flipping. We'll come to that in a second, okay? So every time I'm buying, okay, you'll notice, like for example, Eternals, right? The movie's not out yet, but the price has been steadily going up. You'll notice that same thing here. I'm still looking for the signed copy, right? There's 7 of them, but at 9.8, the normal version is about 552 of them. So when you understand this, then that is where that brings us to my next point. Okay, my next point is this. I've seen, let's just say, a lot of bad advice online, and I was a little bit, I was in a dilemma on whether I should bring this up because I think that it's going to attract, well, a lot of hate maybe. But I feel that I'm obligated to say this, and here's what I mean. Okay, so I recently saw this video that GaryVee was talking about on garage sailing, and one of the things that he's been doing is he would create videos of him going around and flipping, you know, trash, like he calls it, right? And I get it. I get it that he's creating these type of videos to capture a very different audience, a younger audience, to maybe inspire them about entrepreneurship. But there's a problem when it comes to the practicality of it all. Okay, so let me explain to you what the main problem is. Okay, it's this. Let me just quickly show you this quick 20-second video on what was supposed to be one of the easiest flips on a garage sale that got over 779,000 views.
Want you to stuffed animals?
50 cents.
Oh, baby. Have a good day. Yeah, we scored. 50 cents each. Well, Disney authenticated. This is a Build-A-Bear Anna. You want to look for the Disney store stuff. The stuff kills. Look them both up on eBay. This is 17. This is 12 without the dress, called 20. I'm at 37 bucks for $1. Just all day.
Okay, so here's the problem that I have with this video. Okay, so yeah, it cost 50 cents. Barriers of entry is extremely low. But there's a problem. It's that when kids or teens are watching this and they're thinking, okay, well, I want to be able to buy these things at garage sale as well and flip it on eBay. But there's a problem, right? When it comes to practicality of it, first of all, the listing fees, the transaction fees, the fact that you got to ship it over to that person, take pictures, the time involved in doing that. And I took the exact example here, right? The Build-A-Bear example. And you can see, like, over here, there's one here that sells for 99 cents. Okay, there's no bids on it yet. It's ending in about what day. The point I'm trying to make is that that's the point right here. Number 2, it's supply. Right? There's unlimited supply of second-hand Build-A-Bear, you know, frozen Elsa teddy bears out there. And the dangerous thing about this is there's going to be kids or teens watching this thinking, oh, I want to be able to get as many of these, you know, $1 soft toys, only to realize that their house is going to end up being a warehouse. Okay? Why? Because when you take into account of shipping and transaction fees and taking the pictures and listing all that, you realize that, first of all, there's a ton of other people that is doing the same thing that's not able to sell it. And now you have a bunch of secondhand soft toys that is just lying around. So how do you go about this? Okay, so I believe that when it comes to flipping collectibles, okay, it is not about flipping random things in the garage sale, but you got to be able to flip something that is truly limited in supply. And this is where NFTs come in. Right now, NFTs, there's a huge bubble. From a big picture perspective, most NFTs, I would say like 99% of them, they're all inflated, and it's only a matter of time that this bubble bursts. In fact, it's already burst in many marketplaces. So how do you go about this? Well, it would be this. In my previous videos, I talked about flipping comics based on eventuality. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can do that digitally. So coming back to this example over here, okay, what I showed you earlier, right? How did I manage to build up this portfolio of over, it's worth over $50,000 now on a digital collectible? So for example, I truly believe that the future of NFTs are NFTs that is tied to licensing. So what does this mean? If I were to go to the marketplace right now, this is VeVe, and VeVe has secured like the biggest brands: Universal, DC Comics, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, Powerpuff Girls, like the biggest brands. Okay, and they've got Superman. They have even announced that Marvel is coming on board. So they have pretty much all of the biggest licensees, well, not all, but you know, the major players in here. And that is where I see the NFT market headed, which is the winners and the ones that is going to last are the ones that has got something proprietary, that has got intellectual property rights, because now it's truly a collectible. Okay, so over here, I'm going to show you my train of thought and how I've been flipping stuff. So the good thing when it's digital is that because it's truly limited, because this is tied to the blockchain. If you don't know how that works, be sure to watch my other videos on this. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, do smash the like button. Just help the channel out. Let me know in the comments below. You'll know that I constantly do giveaways. If you are on VeVe, let me know what your username is. I'm going to be selecting a few different winners for a sold out collectible sent over to you from my entire collection. And subscribe to this channel if you want to be able to watch more videos just like this one. Okay, so coming back to this, how do I think about this? I'm thinking about, well, what's the eventuality? Number one, right? Eventuality and supply. So based on this, okay, I'm going to walk you through how I have been flipping, and I'm going to show you something that's time sensitive. But even if you watch this video after this thing has happened, that's okay as well, because you'll be able to understand how to apply this moving forward. Okay, so back to my example over here. So you'll see that this is Ron English, and what he did is he is going to be releasing on VeVe the first ever NFT that is physical, that is also linked to the digital collectible. Now this is going to be, it's not new, but it is new on VeVe. Okay, it's going to be the first one. And whenever something is new or novel, that is when it's an eventuality, right? It's always going to be like the first thing on that platform. Just like how, coming back over here, if I were to go to, let's say my Batman, okay, if I were to go to and see Batman, coming back to this, if I were to click on like the ultra rare, right, for this Batman, this was in season 1, the first ultra rare, and right now it's $3,200. Why? Because it was the first ultra rare in series 1 of this Batman collection, and it will always be the first ultra rare on Batman. That's why it's different, right? So back to my screen over here, what does this mean? It means that because there's only, take a look at this, there's only going to be 100, okay, digital and physical sculptures. And the way you are going to get it, now it's not finalized, and that's why I love this game, right? It's speculation. You'll see that on this next step over here, okay, what does it say? It says, well, how are you going to be able to get this entire thing, this collectible, right? And if you see here, this was a Q&A that was done. He says that the NFTs are the perfect platform, and he is going to release the full collection of serial killers, and the last one is going to create the grand masterpiece, which is The Last Breakfast. So what does it mean? It means that if you need the full collection in order to get this last masterpiece, which is The Last Breakfast, there is a good chance that all of the other pieces within this collection is going to go up, right? And that's why for me, that's how I buy, that's how I flip, right? I'm always looking at eventuality. Where is the thing headed? So to guide me with this, there are a lot of different resources out there where I'm taking a look at the low mints. Okay, so for example, this would be the low mint, right? Anything that's under 1,000, right? So I'm taking a look at, if you take a look at this, right? If you've been following my previous videos, I talked about how there's this thing called the clock gate, right? Where you could have this unfair advantage to pretty much secure whatever drop, but they've fixed that already recently. But now what am I doing? I am taking a look at, well, what is that eventuality that market? So like when Marvel drops, Marvel is, just trust me, it's going to go insane, right? Whatever the price is, it's just going to go up. Why? Because it's always going to be Marvel's first ever NFT on VeVe. And that is, to me, that would be history in the making. And for collectors, this is a new way to collect. So coming back to this example over here, let's do some shopping together, okay? So, and I'm going to walk you through my thoughts, buying stuff. So I've got about 22 sets so far. I have been selling a few different pieces, and so let's shop for a bit, okay? So there is one set that I have not completed yet, and it's this one by the Pride collection. So here's, oh man, here's the crazy thing, right? I wanted to shoot this video for you guys here today, and I wanted to buy this last week when it was about 700, and now in 1 week it's 1,400. Now to me this is insane. I'm in no hurry to get this, so I'm gonna skip this for now, but I'm gonna buy the other stuff, okay? Like, so for me this is 565, but I'm looking at like the mints, right? 999. So let me just buy this, because I do believe that once Marvel comes out, the price of everything, the amount of collectors that is drawn to Marvel is just insane. It's imba, right? It's just something that is going to draw a lot of people, especially like the comic collectors, the card collectors, and if they get on this app, the price of everything is gonna increase. So this is insane. What, 700? Man, I'm hesitating because when I was about to create this video, I thought to myself, you know what, it's 400. Let me just wait a little bit until I shoot this video. But that's the price of hesitation. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this over here, and I'm gonna wait for last piece. So that's how I think. You know, there was one final piece that I wanted to get as well. Okay, guys, let me know what piece that you think is cool. Okay, one of the things I want to mention, guys, is that I'm not affiliated to this app. VeVe is not paying me to do this review. They should, okay? But this is always something I've enjoyed, you know, in the collectibles market ever since I was a kid. You know, so this is just a new way to collect, new way to flip, new way to make money. And you're going to realize that it's so much easier when you understand these principles, okay? So one last piece that I want to be able to get is, I thought this Ghostbusters piece is really cool. This ghost trap, you've seen it over here. So let's just get that as well. But yeah, guys, I'll keep you updated as I continue flipping. If you want to be able to join me on this journey, my goal here is to pretty much own all of the collectibles on VeVe. There are some pieces that's absolutely ridiculous, like the one from Powerpuff Girls Donnie, which is like over $20,000. But if you want to be able to see how I flip, the mindset, the strategy, the tactics, including the things that might work for a while, might not work, as well as the time-sensitive strategies, be sure to smash the like button, follow me on this channel, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.